potential Seattle Kraken selections in the expansion draft on Sunday? Will it be Carey Price, their goalie? No, of course it's not going to be Carey Price. I can't believe anybody would think that it would be. Yet, on our poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center, should the Seattle Kraken select Carey Price in the expansion draft? 69% of you say yes. And Moose, what are they saying on Facebook?
78%.
Even more saying yes, draft Carey Price.
Yeah.
Bring him home with you. No. That's why they left him available. Because they know that Seattle won't take him at $10.5 million. That's 1/8 of their salary cap on one guy. He's the best goalie in the game right now. He's the best goalie on the planet. Yes. But you can find good goalies for far less. Braden Holtby is $4.5 million, and he's won a Stanley Cup. But again, Ron Francis, I don't think is going to call me before Wednesday for my thoughts on who he should take. Maybe he will. But I think people are prisoners of the moment with regards to Carey Price. They just fell in love with him. And I love him too.
Well, and they're talking about he might need surgery on his knee.
Yeah, that's a smokescreen.
You know, who knows? But
same thing with
you're right. You know, you get romantic and you think, okay, we're going to the Stanley Cup because we got Carey Price. And that may be the case. But that's over $20 million you got to spend on him this year.
Right.
The salary.
You can't spend 1/8 of your salary cap on one guy. Montreal Canadiens did it, and they went to the Stanley Cup. But I wouldn't build an expansion team that way.
No, and there's other goaltenders. I mean, Ben Bishop's a good goaltender. He's unprotected in Dallas. Braden Holtby's there. If you want to go down the list, I mean, Martin Jones is available in San Jose. He might be able to get back. You want to take a real flyer and a chance on somebody a little less money. Matt Murray's available, whether you think he's good enough or not. Young guys like Capo Kakinen or Joey Decord. There's some options there. You don't need to go out and get Carey Price. He's not the only one.
From Frank Saravelli, the baby-faced assassin, formerly of TSN, now I see he's on Sportsnet. He says, this story continues to evolve and percolate. I'm told as the Kraken continue to investigate Price's injuries, ownership has given hockey ops the full green light to select Price if Ron Francis sees fit. Health concerns and all. There is zero doubt they're considering it. Well, of course you're going to consider it. Should we bet whether they take him or not? I will bet they will not take him. Would you take him?
Hey, when I was up last night putting my roster together, he was on it. I spent 45 minutes because when I first went through and picked all my guys and I added up the thing, I'm like, oh my God, I spent $95 million. I'm like, how do I fit him in? And then you start, trying to chintz here, and I can scrape a little salary by taking this guy instead of this guy. And you don't really like the roster. I've started looking at it. I'm like, I don't have a top pair defense.
Well,
because I got Carey Price here. So it's tough.
This is not the Caesars buffet. Which, have you ever been at the buffet at Caesars? It's like $95. You have?
Woo.
It's like $95 a head.
It's right outside.
This ain't that. When Ron Francis is walking down the buffet line, it's not, I can't decide between the sushi and the steak. No. I'm not sure this is even the Golden Corral of expansion lists. I'm not joking. And what's Carey Price on that? He's at the end, eh? He's the prime rib at the end.
Oh, he is. And you got to decide.
So I filled my plate. I don't have room for prime rib.
Yeah, and then you got to go back and dump all this stuff off, and it's like, yes, then it becomes, why did I come to the buffet to only get prime rib?
Yeah,
I could have got that for $40 at the Keg.
Somewhere else.
Yeah.
Boy, people are getting worked up about this. Todd Pinkney on Facebook says, I bet they do. Nope. I will bet you that they do not. Not be a smart decision.
The only thing with all those other goaltenders is there is some question marks around them. Now, if Carey Price, the injury, whether it's real or not, that's a question mark. But you're getting the best or one of the best goalies in the world. With Ben Bishop, you don't know if he took a year off. First time in his career. You don't know if he's going to be back to that Vezina kind of caliber. You don't know if Braden Holtby is going to be back to Stanley Cup winning goaltender. You don't know if Martin Jones is going to be back to the goaltender that led San Jose through the playoffs. You don't know. With Carey Price, you know.
And I'm glad you said that. From the Puck and Pigskin podcast, he says, is Carey Price the prime rib at the end, or is it Ovi or Tarasenko? Ovi's not leaving Washington. Why would you draft him?
Yeah.
You need to build something in Seattle. You notice the Golden Knights never drafted anybody like this at all. You need to build something in Seattle. Ovi wouldn't be that. Tarasenko clearly is a whiny, petulant child. Has been forever in St. Louis. Why do you think they left him unprotected? He's already asked for a trade. Yes, you can't just look at the skill, but he just said it. Carey Price, you know what you're getting. Quality person, quality goaltender, but also at $10.5 million a year. It's a fun discussion, but you're not doing it. And I would be willing to make that bet here to anybody that it doesn't happen on Wednesday night. But damn, we're all going to be watching, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
With a lot of interest.
Big time.
But we also knew that Vegas was going to take Marc-Andre Fleury #1, and they did. And that was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
John Schmeizer's watching in Kansas City. He says, as a Habs fan, I'd hate to lose Carey Price, but there are so many good reasons why the Kraken should take him. Didn't say he's not a great goaltender. He's a very expensive goaltender. And this business about his injuries is just another smokescreen, same as Shea Weber. I got on the elliptical this morning. I flip on SportsCenter, and it's headline, Shea Weber may never play again. All designed to scare Ron Francis the bejesus out of him.
Well, and that's it. I'm going through this too, and I was thinking about UFAs. And I don't want to take too many UFAs because the window to sign them, you might end up with nothing. So you want to sign guys under contract, but there's a lot of guys that you want to take that are scheduled to be UFAs on the 27th of July. And one of them is Philip Deneau in Montreal. You know, you look at Price, Weber, Philip Deneau.
Top line guy.
Tremendous playoff, really great defensive forward, you know, can contribute. He's a UFA, so you want him, but you might not be able to retain him.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, what do you think of Gio going to Seattle, Rod? I would take Mark Giordano. But back to our earlier point, I bet you he's disgruntled and upset that he was left unprotected. I will guarantee that he is. Every player that I've ever known that's been left unprotected in expansion drafts was miffed. And I think for Gio, it's not a secret they got a culture problem in Calgary. We all know that. And I'm not saying he is responsible for it, but I will say that he's part of it. So maybe it would be good for everybody for a change of scenery. And I think it's $5.5 million for Mark Giordano. That's a bargain.
Yeah. I couldn't take Gio if you got Price on the books. It's one or the other. I wanted Matthew Phillips, the young forward, but it's the same thing. He sees it as a captain. In Tampa, they protected Steven Stamkos, and I'm sure as he's moved up with Kucherov taking over in Braden Point, Stamkos could be expendable in Tampa. And I'm sure they'd love to keep Andre Palat and Yanni Gourde, but they protected Stamkos because he's the leader of that team.
There are some CFL questions, so we'll get to those when we come back, plus more on this. I told you we had a lot to get to today. And Matt Sakaras from Vancouver going to join us as well to talk about this and other things. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of the Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.